Welcome to Talk of the Times, where I give you a glimpse of what people were thinking over 100 years ago. This time I have an editorial from the Hastings Herald in February 1920. It comes during a time when there was a lot of debate over whether Florida needed a fence law, as cattle were known to graze pretty much anywhere they wanted, and while that may have been okay way out in the country, as they were grazing closer to town, it was becoming an issue of contention. The editorial was titled, "Why Not?" and it reads, "By putting up posters on this land forbidding hunting thereon, a man can keep hunters off it. By putting up posters forbidding trespassing, he can keep all persons, hunters or otherwise, off it. But he can cover his trees with posters written in every known language and dialect, and it will have no effect toward keeping somebody else's cows off it. The owner of the cows can neither enter the land nor hunt on it, but his cows can go and come at will. Therefore, it is evidently the intention of the laws of Florida to grant cows greater rights than are given Florida citizens. If you plant a garden or devote several acres of land to the cultivation of crops, and your neighbor enters that land and destroys your crops, you can have him arrested and get satisfaction out of him through the courts. Or if his conduct on your land is especially atrocious, it is conceivable that a jury of your peers might even find your act justified if you should fill him full of buckshot. Should his cow destroy your crops and be filled full of buckshot in return, that same jury would very likely sentence you to a long term in jail. Again, we find that Florida laws are evidently drawn for the protection of the Florida cattle instead of Florida citizens. If you steal your neighbor's automobile from his garage, you are guilty of a minor crime for which you may receive a light imprisonment, but for which you will probably be fined. If you steal his cow or bull while either is roaming over your land, you are guilty of a felony, punishable by imprisonment for a term of years with no alternative of fine. The automobile may be worth $2,000, while the cow or bull may be worth less than many cents. But that fact has no bearing on the case. Florida laws are drawn for the benefit of Florida cattle, and a mere citizen has no right to question them. Florida is about to choose members of the legislature for a session which will probably see the no fence law brought up for consideration. It is therefore our duty to consider this matter carefully. If our status is to have a government by the people and for the people, we should send to the legislature members who will vote for the people's rights. If, on the other hand, we are to continue having a government for the cattle, why not let the cows go to the legislature themselves, while the rest of us stay home and build fences? Did you enjoy this week's Talk of the Times? Well, stay tuned for more. There is a lot going on in Hastings, past and present. Make sure to follow our Facebook page to keep up with everything that's happening.